Qualitative Analysis Lab, we're going to look at page 3, the data table, and we're going to actually complete this by taking these 3 cations and reacting them with these 3 anions. We're going to go 1 column at a time. So we're going to react to all 3 of these cations with Cl-, then with the FeCN6-4, and then with the CrO4-2. The procedure for that is right above this on page 3, so I'm just going to go to that. It says rinse 3 test tubes with distilled water. And I did that before I started. Actually, I got 9 test tubes. Usually we clean them out as we went and keep getting more test tubes, but I just got a whole bunch of test tubes clean and ready to go for our 9 pieces of data we're going to get here. And it says that 1 milliliter of Ag plus and 1 milliliter of Ba+2 and 1 milliliter of Zn+2. It's really the nitrates, but we don't worry about the nitrates. And these compounds, they're just spectators. They're not involved in the reaction. And then in the first step, we're going to add 1 milliliter of Cl- to that. So then what's going to happen is we're going to go down the next column and the next column. So I don't think there's much else to say there. And so I think I'm going to try to make this, stop my share, make this big, and then we'll come back and look at the data table to make sure that you're completing that okay. So let's see. Let's stop the share, and here we go. And let's get to a spot where you can see these different things. Doesn't look particularly good. I think that looks better, hopefully. And I have this test tube rack, and I'm going to take 3 test tubes out right here. All right, I'm going to use those. And let's put these on to the side for now. And then what I want to do is take some silver right here. So we're going to assume 1 drop or 10 drops makes 1 milliliter. Okay, I already rinsed these out. I get a little bit of that extra water out right there. And I'm going to add 10 drops of silver nitrate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This could get cloudy right there. It's not cloudy, but if I didn't use distilled water, that might be cloudy. So that is my silver nitrate. Looks like a clear solution. I'm going to do the same thing with barium nitrate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And again, I'm trying to put 10 in. If I put 9 or 11, it's going to be fine. Things get pretty clear cut in these cases. So you can be off a little bit in your measurements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 zinc right here. So it looks like they're all clear solutions, which is what we expect. They were clear in the bottles. Notice I didn't touch the bottle to the side of the thing. Kind of like if you're using a drinking fountain, when we go back to using that, you don't, it's kind of gross if somebody's putting their mouth on the where the water comes out, and then you got to go use it. So kind of the same thing here. We want to avoid contamination that way. Now I'm going to add 10 drops of Cl- to each one. So we'll watch with this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that looks all cloudy, and if I centrifuge that, it would probably get chunky. And let's see, that was the silver. Now I'm going to do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is the barium, looks like no reaction. And then I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in the zinc. And that looks pretty clear, no reaction. So it looks like just 1 out of the 3 had a distinctly cloudy reaction. That was the silver, making silver chloride. And so, that looks like a good way to separate silver from the other 2. So hopefully they aren't all the same. Otherwise, if everything's the same, you wouldn't be able to come up with a separation scheme with these cations. Okay, so that's first column of this. Or maybe put this over here and we'll come back to it and make sure we get that down in our data table. I'm going to take 3 more test tubes that I rinsed out, and I'm going to go back and repeat step 1 where I put silver. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The container, put barium. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in that container, and then I'm going to put zinc in this container. Okay, and I look and I got 3 clear solutions again, which is what I'd expect. And then what I'm going to do this time is add this FeCN6 minus 4 into the first solution, which is a silver. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it looks cloudy again, a little dingy yellow, but notice this solution is a dingy yellow that I have here. Now I could centrifuge if I needed to, but there's some definite cloudiness there. I'm going to go to the next solution, which is the barium. And notice it's clear, might got a little bit of taken on a little bit of that yellowish color. And then I'm going to go to the zinc. And that gets almost like fluffy, like a gel type thing. Okay, sometimes it's good to give it the knuckle or wrap it with your finger to make sure that it mixes. I can do that here. I can do that here. I'm wrapping that. And it looks like the silver right here reacted. The second one, the barium, did not. And it looks like another white precipitate with the zinc and that one right there. So that is the second column of our data table. We'll come back to that. And let's go to the final column of our data table. And usually, if I were back in lab, I wouldn't probably have that many test tubes. I'd probably flush out my test tubes and go to the next one. But we want to do this in a video and do it pretty quickly. So I'm going to do my 10 drops of silver again. Okay, ooh, that looks like there's extra water in there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now I'm going to go to my barium and extra water. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now I'm going to go to my zinc right here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so I look at this, and then I'm going to add CrO4 minus 2. This is to the silver. It's probably hard on the black backdrop to see that, but against the white, it's actually a deep red color that we're getting. Okay, the next reaction I'm going to do is the barium, and clearly there's a precipitate here. It's cloudy, it's kind of yellow solution, but it looks like a precipitate that's going on here. And then the last one is the zinc. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so that one looks clear, although it's yellow. Maybe a slight haze that I'm getting with that. Okay, so here we go. If we look, there is the silver, the red one, and then the other one, get that on a black backdrop, that is the barium, and it's starting to sink to the bottom. And then there's a haze, a slight haze. It's just the yellow color of the solution, maybe a slight haze with the zinc, but I'd say no precipitate. But I might just say it's slightly hazy. Okay, so let's see, that is our data. Let's go back and summarize right here. And I think I'm going to stop the screen share, go back and look at that data table so we can see it. We'll show you the test tubes and make sure that you're good with that. Let's go back up here, data table right here. So the first test tube we're looking at is, or the first column we did was Cl and Ag, and we got this precipitate, which is white. It's starting, you can see that it's starting to sink to the bottom and settle out. Okay, so that's AgCl, a white precipitate. The second one is clear, and the third one is clear. So this gave a white precipitate, no reaction, no reaction. And when I say no reaction, there's no precipitate formed. Let's go to this next column right here. We have white cloudiness with the silver and the FeCN6. So I would say that's a white precipitate again here. I would say this one is clear, no reaction for the barium. And then this one right here is a white precipitate with the zinc in this column down here. And then in the last one, we get a deep red precipitate. Show that someplace where you can see this. That's the silver and the chromate. Here we get a yellow precipitate. Now it's starting to settle toward the bottom. It looks a little chalky, our barium chromate. And then our last one is, there's no reaction here, but it is slightly hazy, and it is worth noting that. Okay, no significant precipitate, there is a slight haze right there. So that is our data. We're going to use that to fill out a flow chart and separate a known in our next video. Thanks for watching.